In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up Hermes agent by connecting it to a free Ollama cloud models and controlling the whole thing from Telegram. So what is Hermes agent? A normal chatbot just replies to your messages. Hermes agent is different. It's an AI agent. It can run terminal commands, modify files, browse the web, and remember what you have told it across different sessions, so you don't have to repeat yourself every time. Hermes agent is open source and developed by News Research. Today, we're going to connect Hermes agent with Ollama's free cloud models. Now, since Hermes is an agent, the safer option is to run it on a separate isolated machine like a cheap VPS or in our case a Raspberry Pi. This is a much safer and more secure way to run Hermes agent. Now for this demonstration, I will be using a Raspberry Pi 5 with 4 GB of RAM. Now let's start by flashing Raspberry Pi OS to an SD card. First download Raspberry Pi Imager on your main computer. Then insert your SD card and open the application. Now choose Raspberry Pi variant as your device. Then select Raspberry Pi OS Lite Edition 64-bit. Since we don't need a desktop environment, we will be running everything headless. Next, enter your hostname. Then create a username and password and enter your Wi-Fi details if you're not using Ethernet. Then enable SSH so we can remotely connect to the Pi from our local network. And lastly, click Write to flash the operating system to the SD card. Once it's finished, eject the SD card and insert it into your Raspberry Pi and power it on. Then give the Pi a minute to boot. You can find its IP address by logging into your Wi-Fi router or by using any IP scanner tool. Then on your main computer, open terminal and connect using SSH with your username and the Pi's IP address. The first thing I always do after logging into a Pi is disable the SSH timeout. This keeps my SSH session active so it doesn't disconnect while I'm working. The default clock speed on the Raspberry Pi 5 is very slow, so let's squeeze out some extra performance. I modified the default boot configuration by adding these lines. This overclocks the CPU to 3000 MHz, giving roughly a 20% performance boost. That's exactly why I'm using active CPU cooler. Without proper cooling, the Pi will simply throttle itself. Then save the changes and reboot the Pi and SSH back into it. Let's update the system and install all the required dependencies. Since we are using Hermes agent with Ollama's free cloud models, let's install Ollama first. Head over to this website, copy the installation command and paste it into your Raspberry Pi. Once the installation is complete, we are ready for the next step. To use Ollama's free cloud models, we need to sign in. Simply run Ollama login. Then copy the URL that appears and open it in your browser and sign in with your Google account and connect your Raspberry Pi to the Ollama cloud. Once it's done, run Ollama login again, and this time it should display your username. And that's it, Ollama is now connected. Now run Ollama and press enter. This launches Ollama with agentic tool support. Now look for Hermes agent and install it. It may take a few seconds. Once it's installed, Ollama will ask which model you want to use. You can either choose a local model or a cloud model. Now for this tutorial, we will use a free cloud model. I will select Minimax M3. Next, Hermes will ask you to connect to a messaging platform like Telegram. Then choose the manual option. It will ask for a Telegram bot token. Now go ahead and open Telegram and search for bot father. Then create a brand new bot. Give it a name and choose a username that ends with bot. Once it's created, bot father will give you a bot token. Now copy it and paste it into Hermes. Next, we need our Telegram user ID. Now simply search for user info bot and get your user ID, copy it and paste it into Hermes. And that's it. Telegram is now connected to Hermes agent. Now go ahead and start the gateway and enable the systemd service. I'm using this option because it lets me interact with my Raspberry Pi directly from Telegram. Once everything is ready, the Hermes agent CLI will load. You can see it's using the Minimax cloud model. Now let's send it a greeting prompt, and there it is, it responds instantly. Now let's ask it to show my system specifications and overclock information. And as you can see, it correctly reports all the details. If you want to exit Hermes agent, simply type exit. Then press escape to quit Ollama. And lastly, run this command to refresh your bash configuration so the Hermes command is available everywhere. Now let's test Hermes agent directly from Telegram. I will open my bot on my phone and send it a message. And there it is, it responds back. Now let's ask Hermes agent to install Casa OS on my Raspberry Pi. Once it's finished, it tells me that Casa OS has been installed successfully and even gives me the IP address. And that's pretty much it, and that's how you can run Hermes agent with Ollama's cloud models. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to see more content. Thank you so much for watching. This has been KSK Royal. I will see you in the next one.